And here we go. Trigger warning. Spoiler alert. Does something smell evergreen? You are experiencing the Tom Kelly Show. I'm here with Christian Black. And if the levels aren't even, we'll figure it out. Again, folks, this podcast is an experiment. Your podcast, how do you describe it?
I describe it as underperforming and a disappointment. But apart from that,
Which is how I describe my sex life.
Thank you. My podcast, what I try to say affectionately about my podcast, the Blackcast, BLADTCAST, is that it's not for everybody, but for everybody, there is at least one episode that they would enjoy, because week to week, it's something a little different. There's a group of guys that are my regulars, but I don't talk to them every week. Sometimes I do interviews. Sometimes I might focus on this movie or this book, or I'm going to talk to a guy who is a fan of the same band as me, that sort of a thing. But I think the inconsistency week to week is the thing that I like the most. And it's probably the thing that's hurt it the most, because it's not the same week to week. People like comfort. People like 20 minutes of Tom Kelly. Yeah. And then they can
and mimicking your bad business patterns. Here I am. I now describe the podcast as, and these are the loose words for it, comedian in transition, laughing at the world around him, experimenting with a podcast. And I'll cut the screen for a second for those of you watching this on YouTube. I'm realizing why... we put the chroma key screen up. There's two different colors behind me. I'm trying to be bigger and smaller at the same time.
That's right. Yeah, your friendly neighborhood podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, and I think I am tired of pontificating about this being the podcast about making a podcast. But I do have an actual radio topic, and I wanted to try that with you.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so here we go. So my friend Dan Brassam. He is a big shot at iHeartRadio.
But not so big that he was too big to take a meeting with me once upon a time. So.
Exactly. But not so big that he doesn't take my calls. But he had a great thought as I'm looking for this on Facebook. He asked, how crazy are you if you have people if you block people on social media? How many people do you have blocked? And we don't have to get into the specifics.
No, I social media, I do have a few people blocked, but honestly, it's probably about 5. And then muted, it might be like 20. There's people that I don't want them to ever I would feel bad if they ever realized that I had unfriended them. So, but I just can't get brought into their life. Too many things about how we all need to wake up about this or that, conspiracy or things like that. And it's not even super crazy. It's just you don't want to hear somebody's drum beat. So I would say blocked about 5, muted 20.
Okay. So if you don't mind, throw on the headphones. We're going to call Dan Brassam.
This is exciting.
I'm gonna try it on FaceTime, see if that will work.
Okay. Well, he doesn't have to see me; he can just see you.
In fact, let me see if I can screen record. Can you screen record a FaceTime call? Let's see if this works.
Should be able to. But
let's see. We're gonna try this. Of course, the fudger ain't gonna answer now.
This is gonna be great content.
Great comedy, Dan Brassam. I told him I was gonna call, and he said okay.
Yeah.
For those of you checking right now,
he's really calling. This is not a lie. This is not a bit. This is not a put on.
This is a show killer yet again. Yep, and
that's what it sounds like when the show gets killed.
So it's kind of. By the way, I love that little sad noise.
Oh, it's The Price is Right.
You know what I miss? I miss the days of you can call someone and just have the phone ring for eternity.
Yeah, right. No machine pickup.
Let's see if he answers on the landline here. Here we go. Okay. By the way, so which ring do you like? Like the little bird, or do you like this American?
I'm sorry, you asked me a question.
Yeah, like which ring do you like better, the FaceTime tone or this?
No, I like the old-fashioned.
Yeah, I like to know what I'm getting into. Well, this podcast is about to get a lot shorter, people.
And I'm away from my phone. Please leave me a message.
Well, there we go. You don't get that on a FaceTime
At the tone,
no,
please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
I'm not involved.
Hi, Dan. Tom Kelly calling. I'm calling you live on the podcast, and just so you know, you came up with a great idea for a topic. We wanted to include you in it, and you didn't answer twice. All right. This is what we call comedy poison. I have $1,000 worth of equipment, 2 green screens and a laptop going, and a roadcaster and a co-host.
And a ring light.
Dan, I brought out a ring light. For the love of God, Dan, I brought out the ring light, and you had such a great conversation that we didn't do it. And Dan, I know there's other things going on. You're planning a wedding that just might actually happen. There's a lot going on. I love you, Dan. And if you can, call us back. You're hooked into the soundboard, and you had a great idea. We would love to talk to you about it. Instead, I'm just vamping. By the way, this show just got downgraded from Evergreen Show to Kind of Green Show.
Yeah, I mean, it was a green banana, but now it's that like, brown banana with all the spots, and the stem has gotten a little crunchy at this point.
This is that green banana that goes from green to brown and didn't have any yellow time pretty damn quick. So I'll read what Dan sent.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Dan sent me a text saying, I have 37 blocked numbers on my phone, but most of those 37 numbers are spam. He was just getting anxiety having real people text him.
That's right.
For me, on my telephone, I have 47 blocked numbers, 7 of whom are real people who I know with contacts. 4 of those numbers are from my stalker. We will not talk much about her, but she was a stalker about 5-6 years ago. But 4 of her numbers were her burner phones and whatever number she started texting me from with that.
And we won't talk about her, but she moved back to Turkey. It's just an inside joke for Tom. Sorry.
Len Berman. Anyway. Oh, is he calling?
He's going to call you back in a little bit.
Oh, God bless. God bless. You know what? Thank God. By the way, the nice thing about leaving your phone open, thank God he didn't say, 1, thank God you saw it, and 2, thank God he didn't say, you're not podcasting with that jerk Christian Black.
It would be fine.
It would be.
That would not be the first time that I've seen a message like that. Usually it's on my wife's phone.
So 7 of the people I have blocked.
Yes.
And by the way, if you're one of those 7 people and you listen to the podcast, I am glad to have you here.
Yeah, no,
including my stalker. If you can listen 4 times,
no one is blocked from listening to the Tom Kelly Show, but some people are blocked from calling in.
Yes. So here we go. So we got 1. So out of my 7, 4 on the phone. Out of my 7 on the phone, 4 is from my stalker. 1 is from a friend who kept annoying me about weird things at weird times. Okay. Like if she had a thought in her head, she would just keep calling and texting till you answered.
So what made you decide to block that person instead of just mute them?
Okay. 1 on the iPhone, I think it's just block or nothing.
Okay.
At the time.
That might be true.
And 2, with that particular woman, I don't think she listened, so it's a funnier story. I had won a poker tournament for the first time in my life. I actually came in 2nd or 3rd place. I won a prize. It was for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, which is essentially just a giant gambling and prostitution ring for charity.
Yeah.
It really is. It's all date auctions and poker tournaments.
It's great.
Okay? So anyway, I said whatever prize I had picked, it was when my career was booming, and I had picked a vacation that had a very fast expiration date and said I couldn't use it.
Fair enough.
And I said, and you know what? And I probably should have just kept it to myself. Okay.
Yes.
So I went to this friend who has OCD. Mm-hmm. And God bless, flash forward to about a couple weeks later, my friend the priest is dying. Okay. That's all you need to know. My friend Father Lou, he dies.
Yeah.
I drive up to see his body in his deathbed. They wanted to let me see him before he passed away. There's an honor guard to walk him out of the Veterans Administration Hospital. Sure. And during that 20 minutes, like I'm in the biggest moment of grief I had for 2016. And it's beep beep. I'm not saying her name, and it's this woman going. She's just like, Tom, I need to talk to you. It's important. I could change the vacation. And I'm like, I would have called the next day, and it's like at 11 at night on a Sunday, On Father's Day. The man died on Father's Day.
Yeah.
Now, we could go back and say, Tom, you never should have said this, but it's
Yeah.
while you're escorting a dead body out of a funeral home. And then I would say one is a comedian who kind of wanted my job, and he would just call me up and go, hey, what's Michael Strahan wearing today? What's up with him today? Or, oh, that was fun. And I'm like, I really don't want you knowing I have this job.
Yeah, no.
One is, and then who are the other ones on the phone? One is a comedian who you know who wanted to start a fight about politics, and I just knew it was vaccine stuff. There was an article about the vaccine going bad, and you just knew this person wanted a text message fight with somebody.
Yeah, and so then you were in a fight. I'm gonna have to ask you who it is that I know.
Yeah,
because,
I'll bleep the name.
Okay, that's who I thought it was.
Yeah. He one day got a vibe, and he says, "Hey, Tom, look what just came in." And this is before the vaccine really started going bad. Like, listen, folks, I'm not. This is my stance on the vaccine. It scares me. I just felt it was our duties as Americans to at least get the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
We could argue about round 3, 4, 5, and 6, but at least the first round, that was my stance, was you had to do it as an American. And by no means do I think it's safe. I felt we were all drafted into a war, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like saying, his thing was the vaccine might make you sick. And I'm like, yeah, well, guys who got drafted to Vietnam didn't say, oh, but I might get shot. No, they went. So anyway, that was my stance. And anyway, there's a bad article about something, and it's
so you had to block this person.
You know what? I'm like, I'm not taking the bait. I'm not taking the bait.
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
safe. I love the person. And I'm sure after the 2024 re-election, I'll unblock him. And then there you go. So then, but on Facebook though, I have 107 real people blocked.
That's a lot of people. 107.
Yeah. And we can go through and I figured I'd go through the list. I'm not going to name them all. But
you're going to name some of them? Tom Kelly naming names.
Naming names.
Stay tuned.
Well, out of the 107 people I have blocked, some are people who I have met over the years, and I'm just like, yeah, we don't need to stay in touch.
That's fair.
I'm
honored to have not ended up on that list. So.
Yeah, and a lot of them are exes or people, and I'm like, why do they need to see my pictures?
Yeah, I get that.
And then some are just people that I'm like, wow. This person was creepy with me. Do I really want them knowing where I'm going to be? Now, don't get me wrong. They could also have, if they really care that much, they could have 5 more accounts. But yeah, I mean, just going through the list, like my neighbor across the street, my Long Island neighbor across the street. I like her.
Okay.
I just don't want weird conversation starters.
I think that's a perfectly legitimate reason to have somebody out of your life. Absolutely.
Yeah. Then who else? Coworker. There's one woman who would only write me when I did something with Elvis Duran.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, I don't care. There's a guy from my old high school, Dave Hahn. I'll name it, people. Dave Hahn, the former administrator at my old high school. He knew I was working at Rosie O'Donnell, and then they would call for tickets. Oh, you're at the View. Can you send us this? I'm like, you know what? I don't need you knowing how much I'm making or not making. We can block you.
Okay. But, and then, by the way, you distracted me when you mentioned your old high school, because I remember you went to high school with people we were pages with, and then I was trying to remember that.
Allison and Aaron.
Yeah.
They don't hit up Allison and Aaron for money.
Are they blocked on your Facebook?
No. In fact, I do have, you know what? Oh, God. You know what? I do have followed.
Oh.
Because I had a crush on her in high school. Mm-hmm. And you know what?
I met her. I'm not surprised.
She's a beautiful, kind person.
Beautiful, kind person.
And that said, I don't need to see pictures of her kids. It just, I just don't need to see pictures of her happy.
Yeah.
I hope she's happy. I just don't need to see the pictures. So she's unfollowed.
I'm sure her children are adorable.
But not blocked. If she needs me.
Yeah. She can get in touch with you.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, the guy she married, much hotter. She's living a great life, blah, blah, blah. Annoying intern. I got annoying intern from The View.
Oh, okay.
Who I have blocked on Facebook, LinkedIn, and anything else he pops up
Now,
on.
I'm going to assume this is annoying in that it's somebody who was trying to constantly further their career through you and wanted to know who you knew, something like that. That's a very intern move.
And then worst thing is then he would comment like 2 degrees away from me through my friends.
Oh, yeah.
But the funny one with him, I'll tell you this one good on him. This is the moment I said I'm done with him. But I didn't block him for a year after this. Is Jenny McCarthy hosted the View for a year? Okay,
I remember.
She is on
Imagine
the
if
list.
that were during vaccine times, by the way. Sorry, I didn't want to derail your story.
or my show or career. Thank you. No, and God bless her. I love her. She was good to me during. She's out of all the hosts, she's the one who tried to get me the most other work.
That's great.
Okay.
And clearly she has a charitable heart because she didn't aspire to Mark Wahlberg. Donnie Wahlberg was just good enough for her.
Okay. Who is also on the team of people who were good to me. But yeah, Donnie Wahlberg. No, but that's my problem.
He seems like a nice guy. I would eat a Wahlburgers.
No, but along those lines, I could never date a woman with a hot sister if she were hot and had a hotter sister. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Because
100%.
I'm always going for the upgrade. Always going for the upgrade. So this guy, you know what? This is a good why he got blocked story.
So this is the View intern.
It's the View intern, View Christmas party, 2015-ish, whatever the hell the year is.
All right.
2014 maybe. And Jenny McCarthy, everybody, it's before Donnie and she got engaged. And God bless, Jenny is classic 1996 change of heart Jenny McCarthy. Nobody in the room has a chance, but every idiot thinks they do. She's flirting. Yeah. She's using that sexually funny energy. And for whatever reason, she takes me, and we had not talked at all for the first 5 months she's on the show, except for polite waves. She grabs me and slams me against the wall and tells me, Tom, you're so funny and whatever, and says all these nice things about me.
Wonderful.
So, and she's like, I want to put you in a project.
Excellent. I love this.
We're having this moment, and I'm like, oh my God, I am in love with this woman professionally, figuratively, and in every way possible right now.
Yeah.
And then you got the intern, hey guys, what you talking about? I'm like, this woman's about to change my career. And it's like, hey, all right, guys. I'm like, hey, if you could give us a second, Jenny and I were about to do a shot. I love shots. And I'm like, give me a minute. And he was also drunk and awkward.
It's interesting because this is a professional interaction, a non-sexual interaction.
Yeah.
And yet this intern still cockblocked you.
Because then
no, it's not literally, but it is that same move. Because, in a more hypothetical, not Jenny McCarthy, that this conversation could turn into, hey, let's get out of here. You want to go to my place, one of those. But instead, instead, this actual conversation is, I want to work with you on something.
Yeah.
And then this guy comes and just kind of ruins the mood.
Yeah. It could have been for real. The realistic version is, hey, let's get out of here. We could talk about how I can help your career, Tom. That's and frankly, if you know me sexually, that's better than sex for me at this point.
Right.
At this point, that's what I want. That's why I'm single at this age. That's what I want most emotionally. I'd rather have my career boosted by 1 or 2 levels than find true love. That's where I'm at, people. Anyway, so I'm now there with the intern, Crazy Nick.
I'm glad you're saying his name too.
Yeah, you know what? This was an argument I used to have with Elvis Duran. I used to feel bad bleeping names in the things I write, and he's like, real names are funnier. You just feel funnier when you say a real name.
Yeah.
Like if I say I have muted, I'll probably have to bleep it later now, but it's funnier. Like, look, you're smiling.
But you can run into a problem with that though, because not to get too sidetracked, but the nerd sketches on SNL with Bill Murray and Gilda Radner. Al Franken and Tom Davis used to use the name of somebody that they didn't like, and so then those sketches had to be bleeped for reruns because they used somebody's real name. So you have to be careful with the real names.
I agree.
First names are good, but you can't do the last name.
So I guess we'll end with, since you just hit the nail on the head, women who have probably blocked me.
Right. Exactly.
So in the early days of Facebook, I had a great stand-up comedy bit / idea, and it's a Tom Kelly Facebook mind dating theorem.
Okay.
And the theory is if you cannot picture yourself in at least 5 to 10 of their social media pictures, you should not be with that person.
I think that that's actually a great rule of thumb for people.
Okay.
Because,
So I took my Facebook and went on Elvis Duran and started analyzing real Facebook pictures.
Okay.
Now, I don't think I used any last names, but everybody knew.
And just to be clear, this is for radio only, so no one else is seeing the photos, right?
Nobody's seeing the photos.
Right. I thought so. I just thought it's important to the story.
So there was one, the woman's name is Marissa, and God bless. I don't know her new married last name because, again, she has me blocked. But she had a dog with a necklace. And I said, I can't date a dog with a necklace.
Well, I would hope you wouldn't date a dog.
I'm sorry. I can't date a woman with a dog.
With a necklace.
With a necklace. Thank you for the grammar. By the way, the nice thing about podcasting is if I've gotten anything out of 200-something episodes of this show is I think I had a stroke a while ago and nobody's pointed it out. I have some form of aphasia.
That was what my boss, Dennis Miller, always said. He's like worried that one day he'll have a stroke and just everybody will look and be like, man, he's having a really hot set tonight. Just because. So, yeah, it could just be like, man, Tom's really taken off the last year. His career's, he's never been funnier.
So I guess that's about it. Christian, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, you can find the Blackcast, BLADTCAST, on all your fine podcast platforms, but also all the garbage ones as well. And we have a YouTube channel, BLADTCAST. You can find the titular Blackcast and some other shows I do there. Marvel, Star Trek. Tom has popped up on various Star Trek shows that we've done and on the Blackcast. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ChristianDMZ.
And here's my challenge to you folks as we end the show and we put together our little wish list. Tag someone that you want to block. Let them know it's coming.
And hopefully it's not at Tom Kelly Show.
At this point, if it is, I'm sure I'm getting blocked by all the people who have dogs with jewelry right now.
That sounds about right.
And if I'm going to magic mirror it real quick, magic mirror to Melissa, who has been commenting in our secret Facebook group, which any of you can join just by sending me a direct message, and I'll send you the link. And we'll be back on Mondays and Wednesdays right now. And across the board, I am Tom Kelly Show. Show love where love can be shown. Share the show where it can be shared. Good night, New York.